Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? How are y'all doing on today? It's Saturday. It is time for the Couples Lounge. Y'all know the first Saturday of the month, we do it live. And so we're gonna have a good conversation on today. I rearranged my topic for today, but I believe I can remember it. Can you love me if you don't even love you? Can you love me if you don't love you? So y'all ready? Baby sharing it out. We're gonna talk about it. And we can't run a commercial right now, but I will be the commercial. If you need couple support, if you need life coaching support, we are relationship coaches, and I am a life coach. And I definitely would love to support you in this journey called life and your marriage. Because a lot of times we just got to take the time to work on the relationship and see what we can do to fix it. It don't always have to end in a divorce. And y'all, I did the cost of divorce. Oh my goodness. You looking at a minimum of about $15,000. A minimum. And that's if you don't have that much. If you got a lot of stuff you got to divide up and you got a lot of bills, that can easily that number can easily get a lot higher. So invest now so you don't have to go through, because a lot of things that you have to go through in a divorce.
It's cheaper to keep them.
it's a lot that goes that is priceless, that don't even have a price tag on it, like your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, and your physical well-being. So yeah, we the Tux. I'm Candace. This is my sexy husband.
What up?
He never says his name. You gonna tell people your name?
Baby, you always do. That's the.
Oh my God. His name is Ramon, y'all. It's Ramon, y'all. I'm gonna feel on you since I gotta say your name for you. So you ready to have a conversation?
I'm ready.
So we read this book called Love Without Conditions. What was your take on the book before we get into the show?
It was different. It was different from what I read. It made me want to read more. What you laughing at? No, she for the best song.
Come on, baby, come on.
It was different from what I read. I didn't read the whole book. I just read like 4 or 5 chapters. But it was good. It was good. It made me think.
Yes.
It did. It made me think. I had to sit back. Wait, hold on. Let me read. Like it was a couple chapters I actually read twice.
Come on, Lord. You better work. Okay, so we're gonna get ready to get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit with my notes and then I'll venture off. It says we are all here to learn how to love. Right. Love ourselves first, right, and then love those that we attract into our world. Seeking love from the outside world is not going to help you feel fulfilled. Right. It will help you on the journey of loving yourself.
What you think about that?
I can see it now.
Explain.
I see it all starts with us.
Yes.
Everything starts with me.
Yes.
And so I can look to the outside world for this or that.
Right.
But it doesn't really make you fulfill, because then they give somebody else your power.
Yeah.
You know,
and you can get played that way. This is terrible. I'm about to say this, Lord. This is absolutely.
Well, say it. It must need to be said.
Growing up, girls who was looking for love and didn't have fathers, that you kind of played on that. It was easily, they was
say easy. I played on that.
No, men, okay, somewhat. Yeah, okay, somewhat. Okay, yes. And even to this day, even to this day, you see it. Mm-hmm. When one of the first things I do as a teacher, I always ask my students, who do you stay with? Who do you stay with? Mom, dad, stepdad, grandmama, who do you stay with? That tells me a lot. Mm-hmm. About that child. Okay, you're single, you got with your grandmama, with your mama. And then I can see, especially with my young ladies, when they say I'm just with my mama and my son, Oh, okay, I see.
Mhm,
I see. A
mhm.
lot of them are searching for that male.
So
companionship, that love. Yeah.
Yeah, it all starts with us. Because
Okay.
if you don't, you'll give your power to somebody else. And that was like one of the things that I spoke about when I did the live with the ladies on the Couples Lounge page. It's like, if we're looking to our husbands to make us happy, and then he tripping and he ain't doing what he supposed to do, now I'm unhappy, because I'm putting all that into you. What you gonna do for me? And well, you're not doing this. But if I come whole and I come like I'm good,
Right.
you just extra. You add that icing on the cake for me.
I like that.
And so I definitely agree with that. So don't be surprised if the mate you choose is the perfect embodiment of the parent with whom you most need to heal. I'm going to say it again.
Say that again.
Don't be surprised if the mate you choose is the perfect embodiment of the parent with whom you most need to heal. You cannot become face to face with your own wounds.
Explain it.
And so when I started thinking about you and I'm trying to put myself in this situation, I feel like growing up, I know a major part of my childhood was that had a major impact on me was when I was a teenager.
Right.
And communicating but not being heard.
Right.
And I know that when I get triggered here, it is when I'm communicating and not being heard. Yeah. So you
Lord Jesus.
So
Lord.
That was something that now you have somebody that communicates in this way. Yeah. So either you're gonna choose to heal what was hurt as a teenager.
Sidebar. Don't let me lose track of where you.
Well, you better go on and speak now.
No. This sidebar. Your problem at times, I said, you feel you're not being heard when I'm not in agreement, or we're not seeing.
I just told you that was not the case.
Baby, sometimes you do that. I'm like, why are you not hearing me? I just disagree.
No. It's two different things that is going on, and I'm telling you.
Sometimes that's not the case.
No, not when I'm telling you you're not hearing me. I'm saying you're not hearing me because you still rah. And you're not taking the moment to be like, babe, okay, I get it.
You repeat yourself a lot.
Because you ain't hearing me.
Okay, go.
Okay, so the point that I'm saying that is coming forward is
explain that part when it says about your parent that you need to be healed. Explain that.
Because the parent that issue, our brains don't hold on to every memory. We have so many experiences in marriage. So I look at it as like those things that we really hold on to that we can remember from childhood.
Right.
It's present because that's going to be one of the things that you have to heal. Because you had so many memories. But if this is still very present, then this is something that's a part of your journey that is teaching you how to love. It's going to teach you first how to love yourself and then how to give that to others.
I think I taught you how to love.
I would say you did.
I did.
You did. And you taught me how to use my voice, which I felt like I didn't have as a teenager. You've shown me that you better use your voice with this one, or you're going to keep being in this cycle. You're going to keep feeling a certain way. Yeah, and the crazy thing is,
a good day and went left.
the parent in which that healing had to take place is the total opposite from you. But I still didn't feel heard. That's the part. That's the wound.
Total opposite of me.
Yeah. That's the wound.
Okay, I'm with
you. Okay, you get it. All right. So in that, you all, this is what makes you appreciate your spouse. If you can look at your spouse as like, you are helping me heal, you are helping me clear up whatever it is that is in me, and as I clear it up, as I clean it up, hopefully you growing with me, because once I become whole, I'm gonna start looking at things a whole lot differently because I'm whole now. So if you still broken and you're not working on yourself, we're gonna start growing apart.
Right.
And then what?
Right.
So that's the power of marriage, though, that we get to help each other heal those things from childhood. Absolutely. So parents, spouse, and children are here to help you see your own need for healing, and you are performing the same function in their lives. What would you bless his heart?
Baby, don't start.
Bless his heart. Can you see that?
I didn't even really hear you. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
Parent, that's what happened when we communicate too. That's why I constantly repeat. You have became distracted in your thoughts. I did. I told you. Parents, spouses, and children are here to help you see your own need for healing, and you are performing the same function in their lives. Can you see that?
I can. Spouses and children.
And parents.
And parents. The parent part, I don't know. But the spouse and children, I definitely see.
You don't see how your parent can trigger you or make you mad?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
Okay, so that shows you an area within you that needs healing.
Yeah. Because them the three that can trigger you real quick, fast, and a hurry.
Yeah.
Don't nobody piss you off like your spouse. Don't nobody piss you off like your child.
Yeah.
Or your parents.
Yeah.
Them the three right there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then you're doing the same thing for them.
Yes.
You pissing them off.
No doubt.
Every last one of them. So.
And them the three, if you cross, get you in a culture of your life, you better leave my family.
Oh, you saying somebody on the outside that's with them.
Leave them alone.
So it's like, God, like we just working. If everybody could get that we all are in this together and working on healing and becoming a better person. So we're talking about today, how can I love you if I don't love myself?
And see, that's where I said that was the pushback. I believe you can. I believe some people could truly love themselves and not like their neighbor. I believe some people love themselves a little too much.
Or is that a facade?
No, I believe some people, you telling me you had never met nobody that was just, okay, you're a little too high on yourself.
But you hate other people?
No, I don't believe you just hate other people. I've been around people with money or parents of so-called privilege, and they think people are beneath them because they don't have what they have.
But the fact that they operate like that lets you know that just because people act confident don't mean they really confident.
That's absolutely true.
And if you acting like that, because I got money, or that, for real, you ain't really walking in no confidence. Because if somebody snatched that money from you, then what?
But I believe two things can be true. Okay. I can love myself and not like the person next to me.
Do you love yourself without conditions?
No. Wait, hold on. What do you mean? Wait, hold on. Do I have conditions? What do you mean?
Do you love yourself?
I love
without conditions.
Without conditions? What you mean by conditions?
Do you love yourself unconditionally?
Yeah, I do. I believe I do. I love me. What are you talking about?
So you don't get down on yourself. You don't beat yourself up.
Like a mother.
You don't.
Yes, I do. Okay, but then I got conditions then. Yeah. But no one is harder on yourself than you are. Heck yeah, I'm down on myself at times. Of course.
So if you don't love yourself without conditions, how can you love me without conditions?
I'm down on myself. Do that mean I got conditions with my life? I'm gonna love me regardless now. I'm just hard on me, but I'm gonna still love me. Does that make sense?
Do you think you love me like you love yourself?
Do I love you like I love myself? Honestly?
Oh, God.
I would say more.
Is that possible?
Here's why I say that. If it's between me and you, a situation, I die so you can live. I die so you can get away. I'm willing to kill and to sacrifice my life, baby, go get the kids. This is what you gotta do. And get the hell on. But they for the dough, they for the go, and I know I'm for the go, but I go just so you can get away. If it's just me, I'll deal with it, do whatever I need to do. But if I gotta stand and fight and one person gotta leave, you got to go. I got to die.
Do you love yourself without conditions?
Do you? No.
No, hell no. I know you. You ain't even for let you tell that.
I do now. I can't say that I've always been where I am now.
Yeah, you a different canvas.
I can say now, I can
That's good and bad.
It's not bad.
Bad choice. Okay.
Why you say it's bad?
Hey, you think a lot, sweet Jesus. You analyze everything, and I don't know. You a better person.
Okay.
But you analyze, man. I'll trip, baby. you need to ask God, why are you always falling? What the hell? Why not just trip? I'm broke, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. She has literally said that to me because I'm breaking stuff. I'm just calm. I've always been calm. Baby, you really need to seek for understanding.
No.
What the hell?
I think TD, you said this one time on the show. I mentioned how clumsy Mom was. He said he's just unbalanced. And that is real. You are unbalanced.
Since a kid. I don't
Internally, you are unbalanced.
Telling me, Lord.
You are unbalanced.
Girl, if you don't see, there you go. That's what I'm saying. The good and the bad. Y'all see it.
He don't want to listen. You know, Mom break stuff.
Oh
I feel like y'all, it is not a random.
Baby,
He can get on the road where he is break. Or maybe God is trying to get your attention.
Y'all see what I just said, right?
God is trying to get your attention.
Or maybe sometimes things happen.
Or you're not present. You're not present.
I'm present right now, baby.
So I want to say this: when it's love without conditions, it means that I can now understand that I am imperfect and be all right with that. I can't say that I always was all right with that. Like I always felt like I had to defend myself. If you said something about me, well, like you say, women don't like to be wrong. That's what you say.
I ain't met many. My sister might be the only one, but I ain't met many. Y'all have a hard time admitting it, or that's definitely agree. Yeah, I was wrong on that. Dang, that don't come out, and I've never understood that.
Because what I figured out, y'all, is that just because you felt like I was wrong, no, for real, doesn't mean that I see me as wrong. Like two things can really be right.
That is absolutely true. But in general, women have a hard time admitting that they're wrong. And women,
because we're not wrong a lot, so it's just hard for us to see it when it does happen.
That's a character flaw in women. That is a flaw. Y'all are the original. I saw this and they was laughing. Like, hey, that's kind of true. Women are the original liars.
Oh my God. Did he just say that, Couples Lounge? Did he just say that?
The original liars.
Yeah, right. Give him that look.
Tell me where I'm wrong.
Break it down. How are we the original liars?
Okay, go back to the Garden of Eve. Garden of Eve, what actually took place. If you believe in the Bible, how am I wrong?
What did she lie to him?
What did she tell Adam to take a bite? It's okay.
That's not lying.
It ain't. Oh, okay.
What do you mean?
Okay,
because she said take a bite.
First of all,
the okay part?
No, when she came to Adam to eat of the forbidden fruit.
Okay.
After God has already told him.
But God didn't tell her. He told Adam.
But Adam did tell her, but he was weak behind her. But we ain't gonna
okay.
But somebody said that.
Well, somebody needs to take it back. Whoever said that. Take it back. Take it back. Okay. So we either, this is another one, it comes with love,
Uh-oh.
without conditions, start with you. We either look in the mirror or we get to look in the mirror with experiences with others.
The woman dragging the man along, and he's like, man.
That's what I'm saying. I think when you keep your mind closed off to growth, that's what makes everything hard. It makes it hard for you to look in the mirror. Baby, don't worry about it.
It's on there.
Oh, okay. It just makes it, you got to be open to it.
Right.
You got to be open to growth. You got to be open to seeing you, and then God can really work, and it doesn't make it as hard. But if you, nah, I'm good, I'm fine like I am, you just need to accept me. When you rolling like that, yeah, it's hard. So I want you to share something that you took from the book for us to discuss.
Which one? Oh, with the brother. What's that chapter?
Okay, I wrote that down.
What you write?
It says, love your neighbor as yourself. You can't love your brother and hate yourself, or love yourself and hate your brother. Right. Your feelings about your brother simply mirror your feelings about yourself.
And in the regards of my brother, I no longer rock with. Mm-hmm. If he calls and asks for help him. Don't turn him away. Mm-hmm. Like, wait, Lord, hold on, Lord. I heard you, but man, I don't like this man no more. Mm-hmm. What you mean help? Mm-hmm. He's reaching out. Ah, man, that made me really think. There are some people I don't rock with no more. Mm-hmm. And it was like, man, if they call me, bro, I need your help. What? my first instinct, what the hell you calling me for?
Mm-hmm.
But reading that, God is saying that is your brother. If you reach out, don't turn him away.
Mm-hmm.
My golly, Lord, you making me be something I don't want to be.
You making it hard.
Yeah,
You making it hard.
I'm just being honest.
Okay.
So that stood out tremendously, and they talked about forgiving because you're going to need forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
How can you not forgive him when someone is going to have to forgive you for something?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, golly, Lord, why? Woo, I know you're right, but can I just not like him and not forgive him?
Mm-hmm.
God is saying, no,
Mm-hmm.
forgive this man.
Mm-hmm.
So that was powerful to me. That was very powerful.
And so how does that analogy show up in a relationship or in a marriage?
Easy, because sometimes your spouse, if you stay married long enough, is going to piss you off.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say something, they're going to do something that totally upsets you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have to forgive them.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You're going to do something or say something that pisses your spouse out. It doesn't have to be as serious as infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. It could be an act. It could be, anything. But it's going to show up. Forgiveness. If you don't have forgiveness in your marriage, then your marriage ain't stable together.
So when you use the situation of if he call you, you are to do. I think in a relationship, in a marriage, that goes to when we mad at each other.
Yes.
Or I'm in this funk with you. If I ask you to do something.
Yeah, like what? And you ask them soon, they say, what? You already know.
No, you ain't asking me to do something. You just did that.
Right.
But in reality, we are to be loving.
Yes, you are. And it can be difficult.
Yeah.
I don't like you right now. I don't want you hugging up on me. Get out of me, man. And Lord, I hate it when you upsetted me. I really hate it when you upset me. Because if our bed is this big,
why you keep telling people that?
Damn it, it's the truth. If we speak the truth on this show. If our bed is this long, my wife, she's upset, she's all over there. I won't feel her, she won't, her toenail won't even touch my skin.
Shut up.
But
you was the video that we made today?
She won't, I can't even breathe because you all over.
When there is a disconnect in the marriage, it becomes a disconnect in the bedroom.
But hold on, here's the thing. Everyone is not like that.
What do you mean?
Everyone, and I don't believe every woman.
Yes, ma'am.
We're talking about love, though.
No, hear me out. I don't believe every woman sexual drive is tied to her emotions. Mm-hmm. Now, I believe a majority, I would say a lot, probably so. Mm-hmm. With a man, not so much at all. Mm-hmm. But with a woman, I know a lot of times y'all emotions and how you feeling can be tied to your eagerness in the bedroom. Mm-hmm. But not every woman is like that. You are like that. You gotta be, man. That's the problem. But girl, go outside. Go outside. We need to have a conversation, man. Go outside.
So I gotta be able, this going back to what the show is about. The reality of it is the love that you have for yourself is you can only extend so much to the person. So if you hard on yourself, if you beat yourself up, if you carrying guilt and shame and
can't forgive yourself, it's gonna be harder to forgive the next.
Yes.
Especially your partner.
So the more that you learn how to love you, you extend that to everybody, not just your spouse. You extend it to everybody.
And when you have forgiveness and forgive, it teaches and shows your partner how to forgive. Mm-hmm. So when you know you've messed up and hurt me or said something in whatever way, and I was truly affected, but I forgave. Now you see how to forgive. So next time I do something to you, it'll trigger. Mm-hmm. Baby forgave. I see how you responded when I did it. Then it's easier for you to forgive.
True.
But if I'm holding a grudge and sticking it in, poking you and all that, you remember that as well. Yeah. And sometimes it can be harder for you to forgive because I didn't forgive as easy. Does that make sense?
It do.
Okay.
It do. It's like the cycle.
But yeah,
It's
you
the
can be
cycle.
paying something. That's one thing people don't tell you. But you can you can be petty as hell when you get married and get into an argument. Petty as hell. Like, boy, I can't believe we did that.
The Lord.
Not
I'm so
even
glad
talking.
on some of the stuff we can look back and
Right.
laugh at now. It wasn't
Right.
funny while we was
Right.
in it. But now it's even I love about our marriage now is that even when we have those moments, our recovery time is a lot quicker now to where
we are aware of it. And because here's the thing, when you in those bad moments, if you stay in them, it becomes the norm. And it's easy to stay mad and to stay traumatized. I ain't saying
I ain't for that.
And it becomes normal for you, and it's easier to do. An analogy of that is when you work out. Once you start back working out, okay, boom, I mean it's going. But when you get out of the gym and stay out of it's just become easier to stay out. It's harder to get back. I don't even want to go to the gym now. I'm lazy.
Yeah, me too.
Does that make sense? Like now that I done got back in, it's like, okay, the juices are flowing. Okay, here we go.
So the point of that is being willing to get out of y'all funk as quickly as you can. But honoring still how you feel, honoring all of that, but being intentional about.
Sometimes this is so stupid to say. I know I ain't the only one. Sometimes
don't be bringing us into it.
You want to stay mad? Like, nah, I'm mad. I'm gonna stay mad for a second. Yeah,
I can say I've had those moments. Yeah.
But she shouldn't say it that. She should. I'm mad right now. Well, how stupid? That's
Do you still do that? Oh my goodness!
I've done it, but I don't stay.
I'm gonna start hug every time you act like that. I'm gonna hug you.
I don't stay, but no, I don't do it.
I'm gonna hug and kiss on you.
I don't want you touching me when I'm mad.
That is a lack of love for yourself.
You
do that.
Love for me.
That is somebody wants to give you love and you reject it.
Because I'm upset right now. I need
doesn't
time.
matter. You're rejecting love.
I'm not rejecting. I'm saying I need space. I need time. You just did X, Y, Z. Give me a second before you give me a hug or a kiss. You look, I don't punch you in the forehead. I need a second. You the same way. Let me.
I will not reject your hug and kiss. I will not. I will not. You ain't never done it. Have you done it? Have you done it when I was upset? Have you came and said, "Baby, give me a hug, give me a kiss"?
No, I give you a space. I've kissed you, but I did it.
Won't you try it? When you do something, won't you try it?
If my daughter wasn't here, I would say something. But go on with the show, baby.
It's a question. It's a question. What is that?
What?
You loud.
Oh, okay.
Shut up, Kaya. So don't reject love. You really do that, baby.
But you really going on?
You really do that. I'm glad we got this platform so I can say it.
You're telling me sometimes you don't need a little. I need a moment. I need a moment. I'm hurt. I'm upset right now. A hug and a kiss ain't for the.
I love your chest.
Sometimes
so put it on me.
Sometimes I think you being funny when you do it.
No.
I'm just telling you how I feel now.
That's that inner thought.
No, that's how you showing up.
Because that's what you would be doing is being funny if you was doing it.
Girl, if you don't come on.
I'm just saying. All right. So how do you love someone without conditions when they are unloving?
Oh. Say it one more time.
How do you love someone without conditions when they are unloving?
Yeah. Lord, prayer. Gee, that's prayer. That's like I told you. Yes, what did I say about? Is that's something you strive to do? And something you strive to do. That's I don't believe
comes natural.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think you definitely have to be in a space in your world.
I'm saying I'm not. Lord, I don't want to say never. I should speak in absolutes. It is very difficult to love someone and not get into that space ever. I'm gonna be mad at you about something, right? I think you strive to get
I
there.
think it's
Every day is a
striving.
good day.
Mm-hmm.
Like older couples that been married 40, 50, 60 years, like they probably know what they are.
You know, they still be. It might not be arguing, but you're gonna have disagreements.
Yeah, they might.
But I think you get to a place where you accept people for who they are,
right?
And you pray that they are loving.
Yes.
And if you just have stayed in a toxic marriage for 50 years, that's ludicrous to me.
It's difficult loving and being caring to someone that is being unloving.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing if we're not seeing eye to eye, we have it all.
You're just saying they just being mean
purposely.
Mm-hmm.
And you're purposely being unloving. That's, man, to have a loving attitude towards them,
mm-hmm.
that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard as hell. Because I know right now, you're doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
But I'm supposed to have a loving attitude anyway.
Yeah.
That's
what he's calling us to do.
Yeah.
And so it says that I would say, let me say this for all of those that feel like some of our way is being that whole I'm just keeping it real. That's what I'm about to talk about.
Keeping it real. I hate
you cannot love in an unloving way. Woo! Don't disguise you keeping it real, but your words are harsh. Your words are you cannot love. You cannot love in an unloving way. How can you say you love me in that moment when you cussing me out, you talking crazy to me? That's not love.
Okay, I'm looking at a parent and child situation.
I don't care who you're looking at. That ain't love.
You're telling me I don't love my son or my daughter who just did. Yeah, I done cussed. You done snuck out the house to go see your girlfriend, and I caught you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love you, son, but I want to break up. Lord knows if it was her, I would choke.
But in that moment, you're not being loving. Your response is not being loving, and this is an aha that I had last night as I'm doing this show.
Okay, break it down.
I'm like, the reality of it is parents that don't love their kids unconditionally.
Wow.
There are parents, and when I say that because it is parents that will withhold their love if their kids make them mad. Yeah. Don't talk to me. Yeah. Now I'm not hugging you, and they serious, and I'm not talking about adult kids either.
Yeah.
They become harsh to their kids, or
you can be harsh to your kids out of being upset. I believe you can be harsh to your child because of what they've done. An example, you done broke out. You done snuck out of the house, wrecked my car. I got pulled over and got a ticket. Now I gotta go get my car at the top. I'm not going to be loving in that moment.
But why not?
What?
When I say be loving, I'm not saying you can't discipline. I'm not saying you can't teach.
I'm gonna be speaking. I know I'll probably be speaking in a harsh manner.
But that's on you. That's saying something about you.
What the hell?
But that's you.
Yeah, it does.
It does. It's still on you because it's another parent that will
my house and take my car.
It's another parent that will handle that situation totally different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that.
Because my babies wouldn't do that.
And this. So, yes, that's something that I posted on my page. What? That it is actually, how can we ask a couple or a spouse to love their spouse unconditionally when they don't even love their kids unconditionally? Damn. Or without conditions. Let me say it, without conditions.
Can you truly love without conditions?
I think it takes a whole bunch of healing work on yourself.
What does that look like? Loving without conditions.
For me, loving without conditions is saying, I understand you are flawed. Okay. I understand you're going to make mistakes. Okay. I understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And then the next point on here is that the root of all error is fear. So when you show up like that and it's an error, it's some fear behind that. So I get to choose to explore. I get to choose to understand you. I get to choose to really try to be one with you. And so when my love without conditions, I'm willing to forgive you. I'm willing to still love you. Not saying that what you're doing, I agree with. None of that. Right. but it's just how I choose to show up with you. But it is definitely a constant work, and I think the
Because most
more
of us have deal breakers. So
Yeah.
if you have a deal breaker, is that loving without condition?
I think it is, because I feel like I can love you enough to know that we're not good together, and I gotta let you go because I realize what we got right here
Right.
is unhealthy, and no matter how much we're trying,
Right.
it's really a unhealthy. Maybe one person just refused to try to get better, and the other person is.
Right.
But I love you enough that I don't even have to be mad to let you go. Baby,
Ooh.
go and find somebody who you can be with and you can love, and they can love you like you need, and I can go and find somebody for me. I love you that much, and I love myself that much that I'm willing to release you.
I didn't say it verbally, but we was at some marriage retreat, and a pastor said he loves his wife. There's nothing his wife could do that will make him leave. He loved her that much.
Mhm.
Hey, wait, hold on, Pastor.
Mhm.
Nothing.
Mhm.
I mean, nothing. And I love mine too. I don't know if I'm gonna go there.
So that's just when you said that.
Okay, so that's what I feel like is love without conditions. And so the root, if y'all really think about this, the root of all error is fear. And I listed when you have fear of being disrespected, how do you show up? If you have fear of being abandoned, the actions that you may take because of that fear.
Absolutely.
The fear of feeling unloved, the fear of losing control, the fear of losing your child. When I say losing your child, like when parents get in them co-parenting battles, and I don't want my child to go with you, or I don't want my child around the other person when you're in a blended family. That fear of I'm losing my child, I'm losing that control in that situation, and just how those people show up in that in those situations. The fear of being mistreated, the fear of being alone, the fear of consequences. Because when you fear a consequence, you will lie. If you didn't fear the consequence and know you can, you'll be just. I'm gonna just be truthful. But when you fear the consequence, so when you go back, the root of all errors is fear. So if you knew that. And you knew my spouse just messed up, or my spouse just did that. What is the fear that's under that? That's what we need to talk about.
Oh, wow, baby, that's I like that.
That
was deep.
And that helps you understand
it does.
that person, but you gotta be willing to seek understanding, or you about to just stay in your feelings that you wronged me and you did me wrong. So do I just stay there, or am I willing? And that takes, it takes time. It takes a lot of strength to be like, I wish I would have known what I know now. I wish I would have known it really when we went through our infidelity and our moments of not talking to each, all of that, like to really say, let me stop and say, what's the fear really about? But then when we come to you and say, what's the fear really about? You got to open up and talk about it. I'm talking either person. What is it about? And if you get defensive, now you done took us on a whole other thing. Why you getting defensive? Now I done got defensive. Why are you getting defensive? So it takes a lot of work. It takes
people
breathing. It takes your own.
It takes work to get there.
Individual work as well.
That's what I mean. Yes, as an individual, if you're not trying to get there, you're not really there. Think about when we got married at 25. At 25. That's young.
It is.
At 25, I didn't have that mindset. My mindset was I had a 25-year-old college, fresh out of college mindset.
We're not. And I think the kids today will have more of that. They are aware to get support just because it's everywhere right now. Mental health is just everywhere right now.
Married too young?
I don't.
You don't regret getting married so young?
I love you.
No, I don't mean it like that, woman. No, I agree. I don't. I'm glad I left college and came up here and got married. Because I honestly feel if I would have came up here and it would have been single and just lived
in the city like that.
Yeah, coming from the country and then I moved to the city for the first time. Then I got my own place, my own money. Now, with that mindset, fresh out of school, at some point I think it would have went bad.
Yeah, I think getting mad early allowed us to. We were really able to grew up together. Yeah. We grew up together, and so it's like you can appreciate the journey.
Too many of the people that I was close to, my frat brothers, a lot of them were single, and these are the people I hung with in college. So when I got out, I'm still hanging with them, but yet they single. That wasn't good. That wasn't good, especially for me. It just didn't have the mindset, and my friends didn't have the proper mindset to put me in check. Hey, dude, what you doing? What you doing? Talking about, I'm like, yeah, I wasn't right. I wasn't right. Thankfully, you know, I had enough. Thankfully, I had an upbringing, and I had enough sense to know I can't lose this. They kept me from going too far off the reservation. If that makes sense. Like I knew there were certain things I can do. I know I'll lose this stuff if I do all this now. But I come to the edge.
You always gonna go to the edge. Bless your heart.
I was young. I mean, damn, I was 25.
But you still always go to the edge right now. You just an edge. You just walk that edge all the time. All the time.
You act like I'm just a rule breaker.
You are did I just say that in the car, Kyle? I just said that. We just passed 5 parking spaces that was available. He drives down and park in the handicap space. Why did you just do that? Why did you just
come on with the show?
Rule breaker. Oh, so why do you feel like, well, let me see. If we're talking about Can I Love You, if you are just tuning in, I know we passed 30-minute mark. You are tuned into the Couples Lounge Show. We are live at Smokey D's. You see it every Saturday, the first Saturday of the month. Come and join us. But we're talking about Can I love you if I don't really love me. And I think you definitely have to do a lot of work on yourself to be able to love your spouse the way that they need to be loved. And then knowing how they need to be loved. And like we have clients do a love language test, but just being, if you're present with your spouse, a lot of times, and you listening to them, you kind of know what their love language is or how they desire to be loved. And
how do I desire to be loved?
Left alone.
I'm gonna leave this damn place.
Quality time with himself. Okay, no, baby, let me be for real. I don't know, what is it? Quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, and gifts. Did I say gifts? Gift giving. I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just.
You don't know your own love.
I'm trying to figure. Like I ain't took the test in forever. I know what I like.
I think words of affirmation is yours. That's what I think.
Yeah, just let me know you appreciate what I did.
Yeah.
If you can do that.
Yeah,
I'm good. You ain't gotta buy me that.
Acknowledge.
Just show me you appreciate. Tell me you appreciate.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I like this.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Yeah. So loving ourselves, it starts with us. It really, really does.
Yeah, it does.
The more I love myself, the more I can forgive myself, the more I can look at myself, the more I can do all that, I'm willing to do it for you. But is when I'm closed off and I won't do it for myself, I can only love you as much as I love myself. And that's real.
That's real. Damn, that makes sense about you too.
Do you see how much I love you?
No, girl.
Do you see how much? Because I love me.
Yeah, you love you, but I was thinking something totally different. Your cheek behind this heifer is cheap.
No. I'm moving out of that. I will agree.
That explains some of
That's
the
the word.
gifts and
That's
that
real.
I've received.
That is real.
Like, no wonder.
That is real. That was an awareness I had for myself.
$2 on herself.
That is an awareness that I actually have had over the last couple of years.
Cause you used to be romantic, baby. You're really not romantic. I'm just throwing that out there. You're not.
I almost said something.
Oh, girl, I'm just throwing it out there. She ain't romantic.
You want me to be romantic?
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, we all find it out so do
First of all, I'm not saying I want you to be. I'm just saying it was nice when you was, but I'm the type that'll like I'll come home, baby, pack your bags.
Huh?
I got a room. For the week. I got a room and just pack stuff. We finna go for the weekend. Baby, I'm talking. Are you freaking serious? Don't upset me right now. Don't freaking upset me. As many times as I've done that, are you serious? See, you're
about the error right here. So what is the fear?
Man, y'all understand how much money I done spent on this woman? Wow.
No, I'm not saying that you don't do things. I'm talking about the part you just come home and say, just pack up your bag. Now you will plan
but I have,
something. Yeah,
yes.
that I do agree. I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
Come on now.
I do agree with that.
Yeah. Like, man, I done gonna praying on this woman.
So it does make, yes, I would say that is something that I am moving out of. My money wounds is what I'm calling it.
That'll never happen.
It is.
Right.
That is a real thing.
Forgive me, Lord.
That's all right, because I know Candace, so and I understand him.
I really don't want you rubbing on me right now. And I think you're doing it on purpose.
Love, see? He don't be wanting to accept that love. That is unloving.
Because you do it on purpose. And it bothers me because I know you do it on purpose. I'm like, I know this never doing this on purpose.
Yeah. I know I am doing it on purpose.
I'm going to go on with
Yes.
it.
Because I'm sending my energy to you. Yeah, I'm sending my energy to you. That love. There you go. There you go. It works. So, as we go on this journey of loving without conditions, you spoke on it earlier, and I have forgiveness.
Yes.
Why we must understand this? We
That's
have
simple.
to be willing to forgive.
Yes. Very
We gotta ask for forgiveness first and foremost. Ask for it, and know that when you. But also, you can't expect somebody. You ask for it. Would you please forgive me?
Yes.
But you don't have to like force them to forgive you, because it won't be genuine. You gotta
be cool if they don't. Did it say something about that in the book? Like,
yeah, it's like it said you gotta understand that you are still forgiven.
Yes.
Once you ask for it,
Yes.
you gotta understand that you are you're already forgiven.
Now, he or she may not, but he upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Already.
What did you think about that when it comes to forgiveness?
That's the forgiving part is, to me, that's first fairly simple. You have to forgive because you will need to be forgiven.
But yeah, you said that earlier.
That's just pretty simple. It's just, again, it depends on what was done or said. I think the older we get, sometimes forgiving can be more difficult. Kids are easy to forgive. They'll fight and go at each other, and then 5-10 minutes later, they're friends.
Are you saying it's hard for adults to forgive?
As an adult, you fight a grown, get into it with some adults. They don't like each other almost forever now. Kids don't like them, no, but kids will fight and be.
Why do you feel? What do we need to do? We don't need to get into the why. What do we need to do in order to shift that to where we are willing to forgive?
Have a more loving heart, mindset, a forgiving mindset. Understand, I have made mistakes. I have needed people to forgive me. Don't let me trip. Yes. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you were offended.
Yeah.
What I said or
did. And adults will cut you off quick.
Yeah.
They'll cut you off quick. And
I ain't fooling with this. I ain't got to fool with you with my
I can't lie. Forgive me, Lord. I'm doing it more and more. Like, man, I don't rock with it.
But
Like,
that's
it's just
but
some
that's
stuff that
okay.
you
But
can
you can
do,
forgive
like,
people
man.
and not rock with them. You can forgive them and not rock. I think a
And
lot of
I have
times we
that
feel
difficult. I
like,
find that difficult. Like I can forgive you and move on, not forgive you. I don't rock with you, but I don't like you now.
but see, yeah, you got to work on
I
that.
have that problem. Like I
Yeah.
don't like you. Now I'm not going around bad mouthing. I make sure I don't do that. I'm not bad mouthing. I'm not telling everybody what you did. To me, that's weak. I just let it go. But when I see you, I instantly get mad.
But and I think, yeah, you haven't forgave them. You haven't forgiven just quite yet. No, you haven't forgiven.
I haven't.
And you gotta get to a point
I do.
though when it comes to the forgiveness aspect. I think a lot of times, definitely in marriages, you feel. Let me speak for Candace. I feel like if I forgave,
Okay.
then it was condoning the behavior. If I
That's how we
forgave,
used to think.
yeah,
Yes, it was.
that I was condoning it, or that I felt like my not forgiving you is I'm gonna make you feel like you made me feel.
Yeah, you want to
I'm gonna make you
was
suffer.
petty.
I was hurt.
Ooh.
Yes,
My bad.
I was
My bad.
hurt.
I felt that.
And so, and we
and
that happened like
into petty.
yeah, it did. Yeah, it was and we was what 2 years into our marriage, and for you think I was on cloud 9 honeymoon, like oh my god, like, and then boom, like it was like a gut punch, like what? And then it was hard, and then that just didn't stop. It was like stuff just kept happening. It wasn't infidelity, but then it became finances, and it became this, and it was lies, and it was just like, whoa, it was like too much. Yeah. And all my hurt turned to hard anger. And I stayed in that place because I wanted you to feel it, but it was.
I don't want to say I deserved it. I caused it.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I caused it, man. Lord have mercy. I remember. God, I ain't gonna tell this story. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna go tell. We tell that.
I know you was gonna tell it. Come on. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, this is how bad, to the point where if it ever happens again, the couple lounge is done. But I'm no more married. This is. I'm speaking pure facts. This didn't happen on 2 or 3 occasions.
If infidelity
And each time, it was completely innocent. I remember one time on my birthday, me and my cousins, they took me out. We went out, met up in Dallas or Grand Prairie. We go out, we drinking all night, have a great time. I have to drive like an hour, 45 minutes or 50 minutes back home. I'm like, woo! I'm gonna make it, Lord. I'm gonna just sit my phone right here. I'm just take a power nap. I wake up, I'm sweating, it's the sun now. Oh God, it's 5 in the morning. Lord, I'm gonna do this. Lord, I'm sorry. I remember one time on my frat brother's house, I wake up, he on the couch, slide. What the hell? What time is it? Oh God, it's 5:30. Lord Jesus, no, oh God, help me, Lord Jesus. I'm almost crying coming home. Now imagine, it wasn't a woman in sight. But how do I tell her why I'm coming home at 5:30 and the sun is up, they getting ready to go? I can't, and then it happened more than once.
After you've experienced infidelity, adultery, whatever it is.
Yeah, all that I put on the side, man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it definitely became one. And so it's like that forgiveness piece though was me freeing me. Like, cause I was so out of character. I was so out of character. Like,
you ain't coming home at 5:30 in the morning. You couldn't have done it.
So
I've been at the door. Wait. I ain't lying. Wait.
Love without
with some black gloves on.
With some what?
Black gloves.
Oh, you was gonna go to jail.
I sure would. I went to jail.
You did it
more than once too.
You have to go to jail.
At that time, at that age, I would have hit you. But I choked you.
You would have been in jail.
I'm just being honest. At 25, you get choked. You get shook. I'd have shook you at least. It's okay to shake them. It's okay to shake them. You can shake it with
Mom, stop saying that. That y'all do not. He's clowning right now. Stop.
That's just a little love shake.
Stop. Stop. So
I think.
when you, if we talk about forgiveness, you got to be willing to forgive yourself. Because I know one of my things was,
difficult.
one of my things was in that moment was, are you finna stay with him? You know what I'm saying? He put you through this, or you didn't see that, or you saw that and you didn't call it out, or did, and so you got all of that going on. So it was like, okay,
You said
after, yeah, because you like, how? And so it was a forgiveness. I really first forgave you and then me, but really, it really should be flipped. Let me forgive myself. Forgive myself, because when we started having other situations, I would go back there like, I should have left then. But now I'm in this situation again. Am I causing myself this because I'm staying in this? And so it was like, let me forgive me. Let me stop all the judgment of me. It was like, I was doing it out of love because I loved you. So that's why I stayed. I loved you because I worked. That's why I worked it out. So let me not look at myself in a bad light. And so I had to forgive me in order to forgive you. And that's still a practice now. When I make a mistake, yo, you human, Candace. I look, yep, I messed up. I'm so glad that I'm at that point too, where I really am able to look at where I'm flawed, because I know God still can work on me right there. And so in that, I'm able to forgive you a lot quicker, or like if you do something, I'm quicker. I have a quick recovery time of getting over it, because I'm like, well, he's doing that, and it just remind me of those things of fear. Well, he's doing that right now because he's fearful of this, or he thinks this, or he thinks that. So my thing is to try to really get an understanding of what's going on within you. Yeah. So, just to move along a little bit faster. I don't know what time it is. Kai, can you give us a time?
How much? Oh, it's 12:32.
Okay. All right. So we'll answer these last few. So love without conditions means your ego has to die. Speak it. Speak on it. Love without conditions causes your ego to die. You gotta kill it.
No, I'm not killing my ego.
Okay, and I know that you look at ego. I'm not talking about the ego that, I'm not talking about confidence. Ego and confidence is two different things. And I think you try to use ego as, my ego causes me to have pride, or my ego causes me to do this. Our ego get in our way. Our ego is when we say ego.
Okay, here's the Webster definition for ego.
Mm-hmm.
A person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. Self-esteem or self-importance. I'm not gonna get rid of my self-esteem. I'm never getting rid of that. My self-importance. Okay, yeah. Somewhat, but I'm not kidding it. I need to have a self-importance to know, as a man, I am important. It is important for me to have that for y'all.
I'm talking about the ego that is not productive.
Okay.
The ego that causes a pride, unhealthy. I'm talking about ego that gets in the way of what we are doing. I'm talking about that ego.
I can't knock that. Yeah, you gotta kill it.
Okay.
You gotta kill it. And that's difficult when you've always had it somewhat. A man ego is, man, we all
that ain't just a man. Women have an ego too.
Damn right y'all do, but a man ego, a man.
It's kind of almost natural.
It is. Since a little boy. Little boy, you've had an ego. Let a little boy try to take you fighting at an early age.
Your ego is what kicks in with defense mechanisms. If I can make that make it clear. That ego when it's defense mechanism.
Okay. Now you're asking me to kill something that I've had my whole life. You know how difficult that is?
Yeah, that's why we're all on a journey
that I've had since I was a little boy. I grew up amongst all boys and uncles.
But you didn't.
Like, you had to have that when I was growing up.
They made sure.
Now this generation, I don't know what they got now.
But it's an understanding that you don't have to you shouldn't have to have that. We shouldn't have to have that as a married couple.
Yes.
Where your
Yes.
ego
Yes.
is attacking me or my ego attacking
Okay.
you.
Okay. Well, let's speak on it.
we
goddamn.
can't-
Let's speak on it. Hold on.
we
Let me
can't-
speak on this.
we-
You're absolutely correct. But let me tell you something. As a man, if we feel that you're testing our ego or our pride or downplaying it or messing with our manhood, like that triggers something in a man.
Mhm.
And can't nothing upset your man more if we feel you're trying to belittle us or punk us, if you would.
Mhm.
We do it intentionally?
It don't matter. Sometimes yes. Damn right. Sometimes yes. Sometimes y'all might have gotten a little high, like, wait, whoa.
Mhm.
Come on, baby. Even if it wasn't intentional, if you triggered that in us or touched that part in us, as man, hold on. What did you say?
And in that time,
What did you?
if we're trying to get to what we're talking about today,
Okay.
when your wife has touched that,
Right.
you can handle that
Yes.
in a loving way,
Yep.
but with strength,
Yep.
without you being unloving to her.
Yes.
And
That's
so you can handle
absolutely
that.
correct.
And,
But y'all got to understand. Don't be petty with it. Don't.
and sometimes, like you said,
Sometimes
sometimes
y'all
it is
supposed to.
intentional.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes it's
Y'all
not
don't play
intentional.
crazy now.
And I think you
Like y'all ain't never know what man.
No.
Y'all might not have.
I'm
But
saying
women
that it
come
is
on
women out here that
Yeah.
do try to poke
Sometimes
the
you
ground, but it's hurt. It's hurt and it's her stuff. It is, but you could have stepped on the landmine that caused it to come up. But it's like we got to get to a point where we are on a team, that we're not trying to fight each other. I'm not against you. You're not against me.
Absolutely.
And if I feel it coming up, yes, I can address you, but I gotta look at me too. And what about that is bothering me? And how can I address her and let her know, babe, like you can't do that. Like, because it brings this up in me, or it makes me feel this way. And that it goes back to that communication. We really have to communicate with each other. And so many people, so many marriages,
Effective
relationships.
communication.
Yes, effective communication. Absolutely.
I've seen, man, that hurt my heart. It just, I couldn't even look him in his face. I had a friend, man. Let me be quiet. I know someone. We was together. We at the crib. His girl comes up into the place. Get your punk mother and just she went. He looked at me. I just dropped the controller. I didn't even look at him. I didn't want him to see no emotions on my face. I was stone faced just because I felt his. I felt it like, wow, is he really doing him like that in front of me? Like, man, you can't do a man that way and expect something good. Like what we just saw. The woman dumped out her husband or boyfriend's mother ashes
into the lake, into work.
She's for work, yes,
work.
because he cheated. He had his mother cremated and had the ashes, and she dumped him out in the lake. Oh God,
That's taking it too far.
what?
Four.
I'm proud to say I've never put my hands on one. I am proud. I got 2 sisters, 2 daughters. I was raised. You don't do that. I am proud to
Thank
say
you,
that.
Elaine and
But I'm choking. I'm saying you better run. That day don't come near me. Don't not my mom. My mom. You know, ashes in the lake.
Yeah.
That's evil to me.
Yeah.
That was just evil.
So you gotta understand that ego doesn't belong in this union. It doesn't.
No, I'm not gonna go there.
I'm saying that you're talking about a different type. I'm not talking about confidence.
Okay.
I'm talking about ego. When they say edging God out, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that cannot belong in our marriage.
That part. Okay.
So love without condition is giving someone the freedom and letting them go if you have to. And we talked about this earlier. I love you enough. And this is just for our single people, just real quick. Understand that some relationships just come to an end. People are in your life for a reason, season, or lifetime, and you holding on to something that is not good. That's self-harm. When it's toxic and you just trying to hold on to it.
Or if you try to hold on to something that God only made for you to be temporary,
you're going to have problems.
God may have placed this person in your life.
And you trying to make it forever.
Or temporary, but you trying to hold on forever,
Yeah.
you're going to have problems.
And you got to be able to love somebody enough to know that this is the end. But when you're dealing with abandonment, you're dealing with fear, you're dealing with all of that, you think it's the end of the world because they want to leave. Let them go in love so that you can receive that love that you really, really desire. But there's some people that are willing to stay in toxic relationships just because they don't want to be single.
Or afraid to be single.
Yeah.
I think some people are afraid of the hurt that comes with the breakup. They don't want to go through the hurt.
Yeah.
They don't want to, because it's going to be very painful if this ends.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some people maybe just don't want to be alone and they don't want to go with it.
And for some people, it ain't.
Right?
Some people can truly be able to walk away in peace, in love. And you might have that grieving process, maybe, because what you were used to is now gone, and you got to create something.
Yeah, it depends on, yeah. I would hope we have agreement. We didn't make it. I hope you feel hurt. I look on Facebook and you living your best life with a couple of days. I'm like, what the hell? Damn it, man. I'm deleting every picture we ever. I won't be petty.
No, you will not.
I bet I will.
We will not. We will not.
You better wait.
Wait for what? To enjoy life?
Yeah. I almost cussed. Yeah. We break up on June the 5th. June the 7th, you had lava container kicking tough. Like this Negro ain't, boy.
Oh God, I'm not
While I'm
even
at home
suffering.
suffering.
You be
Listening to Sade.
you
Smoking
suffering
a damn
because you done
cigarette
done
hurt.
so. You
Damn.
suffering because you done so. That ain't got to be our story though. That ain't got to be our
That might
story.
be.
Don't mess up.
What the hell? I
Don't
tell
mess
you,
up.
we don't make this because of you. It
No.
really would be, baby. I'm in it. We in it. I'm in this.
As long as you don't lose your mind again, we gonna be all right. We gonna
Guys,
be
step
all
outside, baby. Don't outside.
we gonna be all
Yeah,
right.
let's talk to mama real quick.
So, how to love without conditions. This is gonna be my somebody should have told me. You wanna,
It's impossible. No, let me. It's not impossible. It is
that's why you with
difficult.
me.
It is difficult to love without conditions. It is something you should strive for.
Mhm.
But if you're being honest, it is very extremely hard to do with any relationship. I don't care if it's your kids.
Even with yourself, because that's where it started.
Damn it. Even with myself, love myself without. I'm trying to think what conditions could I put on myself. Give me an example.
That's accept. It's disrespect just to be with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
What's the condition that you put on yourself
Wow.
that
You know what?
that causes you to be hard on yourself? If you think about your spouse and how you treat your spouse, if they make you mad or whatever, do you do that same thing to
I'll be
yourself?
hard on myself and I'll be beating myself up because I said or did something that was hurtful to you. One of the most painful things I've ever seen or experienced when I put tears in your eyes years ago and I saw the hurt, man, that effed me up. Godly, that effed me up. And I said, Lord, I could never hurt this woman like that again. I've never felt that hurt.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And another thing, this is personal, this is something I'm dealing with now. It is killing me to my soul. It's someone that I see, I'm praying, God, please let me do what I know I should do, what I know I gotta do, with every instinct, everything in my being is to break every bone in his face for hurting my nephew, for putting his head. Say, man, it kills me, and I pray like God. I've shed tears over this. I have shed tears because I want to see this man. And I had to catch myself from praying to see this man and talking to my dad and my mom. I'm like, son, what are you doing? The police is involved. You can't do this. And I'm like, right. But I'm killing myself because I want to hurt him. Huh?
Go ahead, keep going.
I'm saying too much. I should say this. Is that a condition?
Hold on. You all have been tuned in to the Couples Lounge show. Thank y'all for joining in. You can end it.
Am I
Okay,
tripping?
No,
Okay.
let me let